result. That would have been the first time a wild card would have stood.
He isn't going to get much sleep then, is it, if he's doing...
Join the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least I'm only driving a desk.
I'll be tucked up nicely in my bed, Martin.
Yeah, always tucked up
Thinking
nicely.
of you, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Watching it on the streaming until 3 in the morning. Yeah, right, that'll happen. Well, we have lost René Rast, we have lost Gabriele Tarquini, and we have lost Zsolt Szabo from the race. Other than that, the halt, the lame and the damaged. John Philippi back into the pit lane, so whatever ailed him in race 1, and we didn't quite catch up with that, the Campos Racing, there you can see it on your screen, the Campos Racing Cupra has returned to the pits and the team, so something is not quite as it ought to be.
Yeah, Ted Bjorg has been the man round here so far this week.
Yep.
But still no wins for him, so starting from pole.
2 pole positions.
This one needs to count.
Yes, it does. Really does. He got beaten away by teammate Ivan Muller, team boss Ivan Muller, pulling rank on him, obviously, or just pulling a better start than him. And Ted Bjorg does not want that to happen again. John Philippi has a puncture, we hear from the pit lane. Thanks, Al. Thank you, George, in the truck, for passing that on. And unlikely then to start the race. Green flag waves at the back of the grid for the final time. The Nordschleife awaits the World's Touring Car Cup. Red lights are on, away we go. Good start from Frederik Verwisch, but watch Ted Bjork cut him off at the pass. And Ivan Muller is inside. Norbert Mikelitz, Verwisch in second place. Must stay in second, has to be in front of the Hyundais. Going on to the Nordschleife, Mikelitz edged out wide, through comes Erlaché, through comes Lessen as well. I think Ivan Muller will still be third. He is still third, and then Rob Huff on the inside of Norby, who's inside Lessen. Lessen gets shuffled out of bed a little. Huff goes through for 5th. Norby in 6th. Lessen is now inside. Race 1 winner Guerrieri. Jean-Carl Vernet got shuffled out of bed that time. The 69 car pushes down the order a little. White car is Ted Bjork. Then behind him Frederik Verwisch. The next white car is Ivan Muller. 4th place is Rob Huff. No, Jan Erlaché, then Rob Huff, then Norbert Mikelitz, and Matt Neal, still all arms and elbows around the Grand Prix circuit. They're trying to get position now before they get onto the Nordschleife, and Coronel out wide, contact with Vernet, Shedden's right behind. Vernet goes through, doors open for Flash, and he comes through like a shot.
Flash following. Is Coronel going to give him racing room? Yes, they get him through nice and clean. That Flash should have the inside line.
Well, Coronel is still there. Mehdi Banani right behind.
Oh, synchronized slide in there.
Synchronized. Well, Tom and Tim Coronel both have drift cars. Coronel loses out. Banani goes through. Coronel will be all over the back of Mehdi Banani, though, around the Nordschleife.
Yeah, Michelitz tried to squeeze Muller tight going into that, down into that turn 1. Muller gave him the big elbow back, and Michelitz was definitely the loser. He's sort of got engulfed by the Hondas at that point.
Chris Richard has picked up a place at the back of the field, the wild card. He's jumped Norbert Nage away from the grid, but bad time at the start for Denis Dupont, being shuffled down to 22nd place behind the Alphas. So he's lost 4 spots on board with Rob Huff. This is where all the accidents were on the first day, on that first left-right sequence as they go through from the Hatson back up towards Hock-Eichen.
Well, the impressive thing is Verwisch held on to his second position. Yeah. If he does, he can keep Bjorg in sight, then he's definitely going to be a threat through it. But it's sectors 3 and 4 where Bjorg is just unbelievably ballistic through there. So
sector 4, most of all, is where he really just laid waste to the opposition.
Frederik's he's going to really have to hang on if he's going to stay with Bjorg through that bit.
Norbert Mikelitz in 6th position. Looking back from from Norbert Mikelitz at Esteban Guerrieri and Benjamin Lessen. Then Pepe Oriola in 9th, in the points again in the Cupra. That's good news for him.
You could see on the bonnet and the windscreen the buffeting you get from in the wake of the car in front.
And just look at the scenery flashing by. Guerrieri down the inside. Oh, and he dived inside at Arenberg. And Norby gets shuffled down the order, loses 2 or 3 places. Guerrieri went through, Le Sen went through, and now we are looking at Jean-Carl Vernet.
Vernet's in front of him, and that's Flash behind him.
So that's Shedden behind. Yeah, there's Vernet. Oh dear, Shedden behind the other BRC. Well, here's Guerrieri taking no prisoners. Norby tried to keep the door shut, but he wasn't right by the apex. There was half a gap. Oh, through went Oriola as well, so Norby loses 4 places. So Guerrieri having a late lunge, doors open, Norby already with damage. This is not being a good weekend for BRC.
That's 6 of 1/2 a dozen, that is.
Yeah, well, Guerrieri got shuffled down the order earlier on. And Rob Huff inside him, and this is a replay with Mikulec right in front, and Benani.
There's some bumping and barging going on there. Now Huff's up to 5th place now. Oh, here's Verfish, gets through nice and clean there. Muller trying to squeeze Muller, and Muller goes.
That's where the damage on Norby's car came from. Ivan Muller, without so much as an excuse me, coming shunting his way through.
Out of the left-hander, and that allows Elashe around the outside.
Well, Elashe got through. And
Andrea out of those nails.
He's got no fingernails left at all, has he? No, poor Andrea. So Ted Bjerk still leading there. He is ahead of Frederik Vervish in the red, black and blue Audi. Vervish does not want to allow Bjerk to get too far away. And now
Bjerk will be desperately trying to gap that Audi now.
Yeah, down through the Adenauer Forest section towards Metzgerfeld. The lowest part on the circuit before climbing again. And the incident between cars 5, Norbert Mikulec, and 86, which is Esteban Guerrieri, will be investigated. It says under investigation now. Okay. Well, did he hit him from behind? No. Did he hit him side on? Yes. So it was an overtaking manoeuvre rather than a cynical tap out of the way. No investigation of the contact between Muller and Mikulec then?
Well, I think that was 6 and 1.
They're all racing incidents because it's a race. Guerrieri ahead of Le Sen, the battle for 6th. Here comes the Belgian. No, Ivan Muller 3rd and Jan Elashe in 4th place. There is the straight. Where's Bjerk gone to? How has Bjerk escaped so far from Frederik Vervish? The Audi was really close, must have messed up the mini carousel somehow. And then the battle for 3rd, the other white Hyundai, Ivan Muller, with Jan Elashe not close enough to pull out of the slipstream. He was having trying to have a little run down towards the carousel, the mini carousel, just didn't happen for him.
Nice.
Wow.
And Muller's broken the toe from the Honda.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
And Elashe might be in trouble with Huff starting to close up. Behind Huff, Benjamin Le Sen.
I don't know what happened to Huff, because Huff was making good progress. I think he was up to 5th, and he's...
Yeah, he still is.
Ah, right, sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen.
He's got Guerrieri and then Le Sen behind him.
Yeah, I'm looking at our timing screen.
Our timing screen updates itself once a lap, so that's useless. So Bjerk, Vervish, and Muller and Elashe and Huff. And then Tom Coronel under pressure from Aurelien Panis, who has recovered a little bit, hasn't he? Battle for 14th position. James Thompson, and then Aurelien Comte with Fabrizio Giovanardi. Those are the 2 smallest engine cars in the field. 1750 turbo for the Alfa, 1600cc turbo for the Peugeot. All the other manufacturers have a 2-litre turbo engine. Giovanardi behind Aurelien Comte for 18th place. Be nice to see Giovanardi being able to battle for points. But as points only go down to 10th position at the moment, the Alfa is not in that ball game. Ooh, trouble for Gordon Shedden. Down at the hairpin. Now, was there touch with Benani, or did he just lose it under braking? Tom Coronel has gone by, Mehdi Benani has gone by. And there was definite contact from behind from the Gulf. So Benani taps Shedden into a slide.
Push to pass.
Yeah, and Flash manages to chop back in front of Aurelien Panis. but loses 2 places and further from the points. He was in 12th, and with a 10-second penalty from Guerrieri, would have been in 11th. Still no points in 11th, so he needed to have moved up a bit, but now the task becomes even harder. Banani, you sense, will likely receive a penalty for that.
That's going to be frustrating for Shedden, because he'd done the hard work of getting up past Coronel and co, and now he's sort of shuffled back down the order. He's got to try and do it all again. Interesting to see now. Huff's got he's got a bit of clear air. He's got Aileshe in clear sight up in front of him. So
well, not anymore. He hasn't. Huff's dropped right back, and he's now got Guerrieri behind him. But Guerrieri has a 10-second penalty. And the next car, Benjamin Lessen, is not quite keeping pace with this. So Guerrieri at the moment, across the line, 4 seconds behind the leader. 10-second penalty will drop him back between Matto Hommler in 16th and James Thompson in 17th. So Guerrieri, with that 10-second penalty, unlikely to finish in the points. There's Benjamin Lessen, and behind him is Nat Berton, Pepe Oriola, and then Gordon Shedden just ahead of the chasing pack, and Matto Hommler. And Aurelian Panis right behind him. So on board with Norbert Michelis. He's in the battle with Oriola and Vernet. Of course, what the stewards can't do is give Norby back the 3 places he lost here a lap ago. But he can get up to the apex, and he did this lap. He just didn't the previous lap, and that's
didn't have a Honda sat in the way.
Well, he was not defending against Guerrieri, and so Guerrieri came down the inside. Oh, that's twitchy. That's Aileshe behind Muller. And the Honda is a bit loosey-goosey. We saw that last week or 2 weeks ago in the Hungaroring. And looking back from Nat Berton, that's Pepe Oriola drifting away from the apex. Banani looking back at Coronel and Panis. And behind Pepe Oriola is Jean-Carl Vernet. There's Oriola in the dark car, Vernet with a predominantly white roof, and we're behind him with Norbert Michelis.
You can see how full all the campsites are already in readiness for the 24-hour race.
Oh, but Matt, when we arrived on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, they were half full then. You've got to get 200,000 people in. That's not the work of a moment. And building all the stuff they build, that's not the work of a moment either.
It's carpenter's heaven out there, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
On the run down.
Yeah.
Down
piling on speed down the hill.
Lowest point of the circuit. Which is 1,000 feet above sea level, the lowest point.
Yeah. And then this wall as you climb. Now that's a good view. That really does show you just how steep it is. When you drive this, it just goes up and up and up and up and up.
A big long drag now. They'll be pulling every rev they can muster out of these things just to try and minimize the drop they're going to do as they change gear, because these things they will labor as you change up into the next gear, and it's a big run up here. They'll be well into top gear,
and we're still going uphill. We are still climbing steeply. It's like 40 seconds we've been talking about how steep this uphill section is, and they're still going up it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do it on your. I
mean, I was going to say, you know, it's like the Mur de Flandre, but it's just monstrous. These cars, you know, we talk about it at Spa, don't we? Going up the hill, up the Kemmel Straight. You know, this is 4 or 5 Kemmel Straights, and they're still climbing here.
Be a good special stage for the Tour de France, wouldn't it?
Mate, it would separate the men from the boys, that's for sure. Incident between 25 and 52 under investigation.
That's Flash and Banani, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's hard to see where Gordon Shedden was guilty of anything in that contact. We'll wait and see what happens with the incident between him and Tarquini, but again...
Oh, Vernet just... is that Vernet in front? Yeah.
Yeah, just managed to get it in. Norbert Michelis right behind him, so they pop out to the carousel and then sweep off towards Hoax, the highest point on the track. the right in Hoat, Hedvigshoa.
Now, whether Shedden's got a problem, because Panis is past him now. So whether he's that overheating of the radiators come back, or whether he's got a bit of a wound. Verfish is not letting Bjork get away.
No. Well, he was sort of this close on the last lap, wasn't he? You know, through Wippermann, Brunchen.
It was like from the mini carousel.
Yeah, and he closed towards the mini carousel, and then somehow Top Gear Ted found another leg to go, and he was gone. And it was the same deal with Ivan. I don't know what they've worked out between them of how you get away from... Now, again, Björk's doing it now. He's getting away now on the run from Flansgarten down towards the mini carousel.
Yeah, Lachey's still got Muller well in his sights.
Yeah, but it was like that the last lap.
It was like that last lap, and they got to the straight, and we thought the Honda was going to
gobble him up
slip
alive.
Up to the back of the Hyundai, and it just didn't happen.
And the same for the next battle, which is Huff with Guerrieri, and Lessen is closing in on them. So there's Muller at the top of the picture with Erlaché, and then bottom of your shot, Huff, Guerrieri, and look, Lessen is much closer at the mini carousel, and now Erlaché comes out of the mini carousel right with Ivan Muller, but the gap starts to grow a little.
No, he's much closer this lap.
He is closer. Now he's really going to be... Now this gives him
Muller just seems to get a better run out of here.
Yeah, maybe that's traction.
Maybe it's punch for the engine.
Yeah, torque and traction somewhere. He's just getting that half a step. And again, Vervish is not close enough to Ted Björk.
He's closer than he was.
Ted might get a win out of this. 2 poles and no wins so far from him. And Erlaché isn't getting any closer to Muller. And Lessen isn't getting any closer to Huff. So this 4-car queue, 5-car queue now, is not concertinaing up. And then further back, Gordon Shedden a long way off the tail of Aurelien Panis, who went by him on that lap.
He's slipping back to the walls,
struggling.
isn't he?
And then 3 wide, look at Denis Dupont, picks up a place pretty straightforwardly there.
Banani's dropped back as well, though.
No, not behind. Oh, and now a challenge for the lead on the final lap. Fredrik Vervish piling the pressure on Ted Björk. We didn't see what happened to them as they came up through the final couple of corners in Tiergarten. And in Hohenrhein, but Vervish got very close, and he's making a real race of this for Ted Björk. The Grand Prix circuit might offer more passing opportunities than the whole of the Nordschleife. Fingers crossed. Bas Leinders here as well with the customer Audi team this weekend.
Don't forget that Hyundai's 50 kilos heavier than the Audi, so
yep.
If it's going to start hurting, it's going to be...
going to take some stopping. And this is exactly what Vervish needs to do. Make him work his tyres. Now look at Huff behind. Huff's gone through. He's got by Erlaché. So Erlaché dropped right off the tail of Ivan Muller, and Huff's gone by.
Or is that Guerrieri?
That's Guerrieri.
No.
So where's Erlaché gone? Behind the 2 of them? Esteban, get out of the way. I can't see it. Erlaché's off. Now, was that contact with Muller? Or has he pulled off? Muller's still 3rd, Huff 4th, Guerrieri, 10-second penalty, trying to go around Huff. Huff doesn't need contact here. The team must have told him Guerrieri's got a penalty. But Rob Huff doesn't want to be left to deal with Benjamin Lessen, but he is going to be left to deal with Benjamin Lessen.
Yeah, Huff's lost momentum now. Be surprised if we don't see...
Oh, here comes Lessen. The 18-year-old from Belgium. What a sensation he's been so far this season, really right on the pace. He was the Benelux TCR champion, so he knows the cars a bit, doesn't know all the circuits. He's all over the back of Rob Huff, but Huff's got away from him as they turn sharp left out onto the Nordschleife. Well, that's exactly what Guerrieri needed to do, move further up the order, try and close on the cars in front, offset some of his 10-second penalty. And I'm sure he'll have been livid. He thought clearly he made a racing manoeuvre on Mikulic, and he'll be furious that somebody's penalised him for him. So that will not be holding him back in any way.
Yeah, he's had a race win though, Martin. He's had a pretty good weekend so far.
Yeah, but when you feel you've been hard done by, Matt, you know that as a driver, it doubles your determination to
Was
show
there enough
everybody
gap
wrong.
there to get a car into before they got to the
Is there
apex?
enough gap anywhere on a racetrack to get a car into?
Oh,
he's got a really good run on him. They're wheel to wheel, and he goes straight by Rob Huff. Holy cow! Well, is this another half?
Losing power.
Oh, okay.
No power.
It's not another Huff roundabout Benjamin Lessen. That's why Lessen went straight by, and Huff's got 25 kilometers to survive. And if he's losing power now, then he will be falling prey to everybody. Next up to go by him is Nathaniel Berton. And as you said earlier, Matt, we're racing in Zandvoort in a week's time. Everybody's got to make sure their cars survive here. Ted Björk and Frederik Vervish, battle wheel-to-wheel contact. Fantastic action between the two of them. Oh my goodness me, and this is Guerrieri versus Huff. Esteban Guerrieri going the long way round the outside of Rob Huff. And was Huff starting to lose power there already? Shedden getting the rough up from Mato Homela, the young Slovakian driver. It's all going off on the Grand Prix loop.
Flash is getting beaten up, couldn't proper. They have got the Scottish Saltar on his car, haven't they? I just saw that.
I think he's got problems greater than just having the flag on the car.
Yeah, I think there's a few people carrying pretty heavy casualties at the minute.
A little bit of walking wounded for certain. Ted Björk leads from Frederik Vervish. Let's hear from Rob Huff.
I've lost power. Everything on the dash, okay? Copy. Try to get as much fresh air as possible. Everything must be twice.
Well, it could just be, you hear them there saying get the fresh air, could just be that things starting to overheat without really putting up critical warning signs. But on the other hand, might entirely be something else. With Jean-Carl Vernet right behind Rob Huff.
Yeah, they're queuing up behind him now, aren't they?
That's a replay, isn't it? Huff was behind Nat Berton, he'd gone by. Oriola's gone by, and Norby will go by, and he does, as they come out. Coronel was coming straight at, and there's no cars going by Rob Huff. Oh, he did miss Mikulic. Oh, I think he missed Mikulic. Mikulic was facing the wrong way, and Coronel was coming straight at him. So we've lost Huff, we've lost Norby. And Rob Huff just try and get out of harm's way. Norbert Mikulic's car damaged as well. Let's hope there was not nose-to-nose contact with Coronel, because that would have been a massive shunt. Looking back from Bernani, there's Norby, there's Huff, there's Norby. How does Tom get by him?
Oh, the skin of his teeth. Bollocks. Here we go. Here we
Blimey.
go. There's never a pass on there. Wow.
He was alongside, and Rob tried to close the door. And Rob was going slower, and he knew he was in trouble. Oh. Well, like we said, there is no soft landing here on the Nordschleife.
Coronel. Jinx right, Jinx left, isn't it? It's like watching Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime.
Zigging and zagging through that. Well, that, you know, damage here. They've got to go either fix it here in the next couple of days, or go straight to Zandvoort and try and fix it there.
Zig and zag.
Because the action starts.
It's like listening to you and David Addison and British GT.
The action starts Thursday in Zandvoort. Nat Berton's GoPro sort of slipped off to the side a bit, hasn't it? Sort of leaned sideways to make that look upright. Berton in 8th. So for the Come2 Racing Audis, all 4 of them, Frederik Vervish in 2nd place at the moment, Nat Berton in 8th. Aurelian Panis has moved up the order as well. And Denis Dupont didn't start strongly, but they've got a little bit more feel for the car, I think.
Berton in 6th, Martin.
Yeah.
So
oh, yeah, Nat Berton in
both the company Audis in the top 6.
Yeah. So, and of course, Guerrieri is going to lose 4th place, so Berton will end up 5th, Vernet 7th, Oriola 6th, Bernani 8th, Coronel will be 9th, and who's behind them at the moment? Vernet, I think, gets into the points as a result. Well, he might, yeah, you know, he's already, but he's got Bernani behind him, so Bernani's already shunted one of the 2 Lukoil Audis out of the way, and he's behind the other one.
Let's see if he can get the set.
Yeah, be off 2 Christmas lists.
You don't get anything for a pair, not in this game.
Not in this game. Ta-ting. There's Oriola ahead of Vernet, ahead of Bernani. Well, Bernani's suddenly come alive today, hasn't he? After being lacklustre in race 1, lacklustre in race 2, suddenly in race 3, he's all over the shop.
No, Verfish is too far back.
No, Ted Bjerk is going to win this one from Frederik Vervish in 2nd place. But that's the best result for Come To You Racing. 3rd in the 2nd race here. They're going to get a 2nd place in the 3rd race here. Audi have had a win, of course. Jean-Carl Vernet won the 2nd race of the season on the reverse grid in Marrakesh. Vernet again will score well here, but it will be Ted Bjerk. It will be Ted Bjerk from Frederik Vervish. Surely Vervish isn't going to overhaul him to the line. He got very close indeed, but not close enough. It is victory for the Swede. Ted Bjerk wins for the 2nd time this season. He wins for the 1st time this season, I beg your pardon. So victory for Ted Bjerk. Vervish in 2nd, Muller in 3rd. What a weekend for Ivan Muller.
What a weekend for Frederik Vervish. Never in the top 10 before, and suddenly a double podium.
Guerrieri 4th. But he will drop 10 seconds, and that will drop him out of the top 10, I reckon. So everybody else streaming across the line. No John Philippi, he didn't start. Gianni Morbidelli didn't start. Zolt Sabo, Gianni Morbidelli did start, but no Gabriele Tarquini, no Zolt Sabo, and lots of damage for the BRC team.
Awesome, absolutely awesome, Matt. Well done. Fantastic. Nice car, guys. Really nice. So good.
Ted Bjerk had a pretty decent car under him last year as well on the Nordschleife.